Okay. And then I have to share my screen. Sorry, thank you for being patient with me. Right, yes, okay. Oh, goodness gracious, technology. Alrighty, welcome everybody to our call. We so appreciate you joining us tonight. I'm sorry this is being a little slow for me. Hopefully you all can see it. My name is Julie, and I am a part of a group called the Healthy Living Revolution. If you were invited to this call, the person who invited you is also a part of this group, where together we are really locking arms to come alongside people and families to help them take their health back in ways that are simple, doable, and fun. So we're really excited to share with you what we have tonight. There's going to be a lot of information shared in a short amount of time, and hopefully we can wrap this up for you in less than 25 to 30 minutes. So there's a reason that we're super passionate, and a reason why we're taking our time on a Tuesday night to be on the call. And one of the big reasons is because there are two really startling trends happening in our world today. And the first is that environmental toxins are increasing. So whether this is the air that we breathe, the pharmaceuticals that we're taking, the products that we're putting on our skin, or even the food that we eat, we are exposed more and more to toxins today than our grandparents were, and we're exposed to so many more than our grandparents' grandparents. So we really are kind of fighting an uphill battle in terms of our environment. And at the same time, our food quality is decreasing. And I love this image because this gentleman is in the center of the grocery store. And whenever I'm shopping, in the center aisles of the grocery store, I found that I'm typically buying more food-like products and not exactly food. I made a great shift about 5 or 6 years ago. I stopped looking at the nutrition label in foods. I stopped counting calories and fat grams and started looking at the ingredient labels. And it's very, very eye-opening what is really in our food and what we're consuming these days. So now I aim for less than 5 ingredients and all ingredients that I can pronounce. And I really want to encourage you to do that, because our food should really be what's helping us combat this high toxicity from our environment. And unfortunately, that our food quality is decreasing, so that's just not happening. This is Dr. David Katz. He's the head of prevention at Yale. And he said this may be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. And unfortunately, since he made this statement, that has actually been proven true, that if we do not make any changes, this will be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. But that is why we're on the call today, why we're fired up to share with you. By the age of 12, many of our children have developed the beginning stages of hardening of the arteries. 1 in 3 children is obese, 1 in 3 will develop diabetes, and more than 25% of children take prescription drugs on a regular basis. And this is Dr. Bill Sears, and unfortunately he shares with us that us adults really aren't doing much better. 1 in 3 people live with some form of cardiovascular disease. 1 in 3 women will have cancer, and 1 in 2 men will have cancer. The longer I'm on this earth, the more I'm seeing that stat come true, and it's just so disheartening. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and 1 in 3 is obese. But we're really excited because of that quote at the very bottom. 75% of all chronic disease is preventable. There really is a lot that we can do to help arm our body and help fuel our body to fight disease. And we want to empower you with that information today. So oxidative stress is linked to poor health. I want you to consider an apple. When you cut an apple open, it begins to oxidize. It's exposed to oxygen, it begins to oxidize, and it starts to kind of brown, like you can see on the bottom, or rust. And you know that if you squeeze a lemon juice on the apple, it will delay that aging or that rusting process. And the same thing is happening inside our bodies. So we have something called oxidative stress. There's really not much we can do about that. We have it no matter what. If we're breathing, we have oxidative stress. And it really is the internal and external aging of our body. If we have wrinkles on our face, it's the result of oxidative stress. And our best defense against this oxidative stress is antioxidants. So just like that antioxidants in the lemon juice helped protect that apple, those antioxidants really form a barrier around our cells and help prevent disease, help to keep us well, and help to delay the aging process. So we all know where we get antioxidants from, but unfortunately, today's mass-produced produce is packing a much less nutritional punch. So One of the main reasons that our produce is very depleted is because of soil depletion, but I'm not going to go into that. It's a long topic. But the second reason is also because it is so mass produced and we have a wonderful quantity available to us at the grocery stores. But unfortunately, that produce is being picked about 1 to 2 weeks before we buy it from the grocery store. And then it's designed to be able to sit on our shelves for a good week before we eat it. And our plants get most of their nutrition within the last 24 to 48 hours of ripening on the vine. So when our produce is picked 2 to 3 weeks before it's ready, just like a baby, when a baby comes out, before it's ready, that's what's happening with our plants. They aren't ready. They aren't full of nutrition. And so it's really causing us, our food should be protecting us against all of this increased toxicity. But our food is just so much less nutritious than it used to be. I love this image just because it's so visually stimulating. The iron content that was in a bowl of spinach in 1953, in 1997, you had to have 43 bowls of spinach in order to get the same iron content that you did in one bowl in 1953. And that was 21 years ago. So now we know why those stats from Dr. Katz and Dr. Sears are so scary is because of this. Our food just isn't full of the nutrition that we need. So this is the label for a multivitamin compared to an apple. Many people are unaware of the fact that an apple actually has, today they have discovered over 20,000 different ingredients that are present in one apple. They've identified over 25,000 different ingredients in one blueberry, and we believe that we're really just scratching the surface, that we probably will never know all of the ingredients that God put into these plants, that our body knows exactly what to do with. And what happened in the 1950s and 1960s was we knew that we had a deficiency. And we knew that there were some essential nutrients in plants. So we took ingredient number 3, ingredient number 4007, and ingredient number 10,008. We man-made it, isolated, synthetic, and we put it into a vitamin, and we thought that that would bridge the gap. But as we know, over the last 50 years, we have not gotten any healthier at all, and vitamins just simply really aren't bridging the gap. A multivitamin. There are places sometimes where you could, where you may need a vitamin, but the multivitamin really isn't adding to our diet the way we thought it originally did. The synergy in all of those ingredients that are in an apple provide synergy. All of those ingredients know what to do when they work together to either heal us or keep us well from the inside out. And my favorite example of this is a tomato. A tomato has lycopene in it. And we know that lycopene can help defend against prostate cancer, but they have figured out that when they remove the lycopene from the tomato, it has no effect on the prostate cancer. And that's because that lycopene is working with all of the other thousands of ingredients that are present in the tomato to do exactly what it needs to do in our body. So the government says we need 7 to 13 servings per day. So 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, mostly vegetables the size of our fist. That's a lot of food. Most people don't do that. I know I work really hard and I don't even come close. They even have come as far as to say more matters. We just need as many fruits and vegetables as we possibly can. If you are exercising, pregnant, or fighting disease, you actually need closer to 18 to 20 fruits and vegetables every single day. So we are excited. If you were invited on this call, the person who invited you was really excited to learn about this one simple change that they could make. At some point in their journey, somebody shared it with them where they could get 30 whole foods into their diet every day. And I love the story of how this came to be. This is a product called Juice Plus. It was developed over 30 years ago by a doctor. His name is Dr. Smokey Santillo. And he helped cancer patients juice. So he was pretty ahead of his time. And at that time, his dad was diagnosed with lymphoma and was given 3 weeks to live. And Dr. Smokey wanted to find a way to make his juice more powerful. So at that time, he decided that, of course, he would let that produce ripen on the vine. And then after he picked it, he would take the whole entire thing, the pits, the peels, the peel, the rind, the seeds, even the leaves from the plant whenever possible, and blend it in like a massive Vitamix. And that slurry that was left over, he then dehydrated that at a cold temperature to maintain the nutrients. And what was left was like a powdered produce. And he just started pumping his dad full of this powdered produce. And his dad ended up living for 6 more years. And not only did he live, but he thrived. He had a great quality of life. And it was at that time that Dr. Smokey knew that he was onto something. So our product, Juice Plus, hit the market 25 years ago. And there are some things that make us very, very, very unique. And the first is that we are really just food. If you can see in my camera, I'm holding up one of our bottles. It has a nutrition label. This is not a vitamin or a supplement. This is food in a capsule, or my friend loves to call it a farmer's market in a capsule. So totally food. It's not isolated vitamins, but it's full of phytonutrients. It's non-GMO, dairy-free, and gluten-free. It's NSF certified, which is a third party that validates that what we say is in our product is, and nothing more. It's the highest level of certification that you can get, and we've had that for over 20 years. They test for mold, bacteria, pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, which is very important. And then finally is our clinical research. So Juice Plus has over 38 published studies. We are the most researched nutritional product in the world. And we've been researched at some amazing facilities like Yale, Vanderbilt, Brigham Young, MD Anderson Cancer Center. So real quickly, I'm going to tell you my favorite study because I just cannot help myself. This was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, which is a really important journal, and done at the University of Maryland. And it was the brainchild of a group of cardiologists. And they wanted to see the effects of Juice Plus on heart health. They knew that about 50% of heart attacks happen 4 hours after consuming a high-fat meal. So that is why Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving are really challenging days in the emergency room. And they wanted to see what this would do for people with their heart health. So they took a group of people to a very popular fast food restaurant and fed them a fattening fast food breakfast. And they waited 4 hours and they measured the constriction in their brachial artery. And then they divided the group up into 3. They put one group on a placebo, one group was on our fruits and our veggies, and then the last group was on our fruits, veggies, and our berry blend. They waited only 28 days and they took the group back to the popular fast food restaurant and fed them the same meal, waited 4 hours, and measured the constriction. You can see the placebo group had a very similar amount of constriction 28 days later. The 28-day is the blue or purple line. The group on our orchard and our garden, the group on our fruits and our veggies, they went from about 45% constriction to they had 68% less constriction just 28 days after being on Juice Plus. And the group on all 3 with our berries, they went from 50% constriction to less than 1%. They had a reduction of 98% constriction. And I love this study because it proves what our government is saying right now, that more fruits and vegetables matter. Our body really does know what to do about it. This group of people, or know what to do with it. This group of people didn't make any other changes. So just adding more of the good really can benefit your health that much. So I want you to consider that your body is like a car, and just like your car needs oil and gas to run well, and hopefully high quality of each to run very well, our bodies are the same. Our bodies need micronutrition and macronutrition to run well. And just like if you're low on oil or if you're delayed getting your oil change, your car will still run as long as it has gas. But problems might be brewing, or things might not be running as well. And that's how our body works. Our micronutrition that our body needs are those thousands of ingredients that are present in an apple. We need them every day, consistently, a wide variety in order to run well. But we need macronutrition, proteins, fats, and carbs, which is our gas, to just give us the energy to run every single day and do our day-to-day tasks. And in our country, we have an abundance of macronutrition, but it is not very high-quality macronutrition. And that is where our shakes come in. These are absolutely delicious. They come in chocolate and vanilla. They are low glycemic, so they stabilize your blood sugar. The number one thing people tell me about our shakes is that they actually keep them full. When I got started on this product almost 4 years ago, I started on the capsules and the shakes at the same time. And I didn't realize that so many of the issues I was having with craving food was really my blood sugar. And when I got on these shakes, they stabilized my blood sugar and they helped me make good decisions, which resulted in much better health. It even resulted in weight loss because I wasn't craving bad, unhealthy foods. Our shakes are vegan and non-GMO. They're gluten and dairy-free. They're plant-based. They have 24 different plants in them, so they also have some great micronutrition and some amazing, powerful prebiotic fibers that will help keep you very regular. And then last October, our company introduced our first capsule product in 15 years, our Juice Plus Omega. I'm holding up in my little camera our beautiful little orange capsules. I call them our dreamsicles. We know that omega fatty acids support our heart, brain, joints, skin, and eyes. So we decided that this is another way that we needed to bridge the gap. Most everybody has a deficiency in the amount of omegas that they're getting and the quality of the omegas. So we decided to get all of ours from plants. So this is a totally plant-based omega. We skip the fish and we go straight to the algae, which is where the fish get their omega-3s from. And it is a full spectrum. So we have omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, which makes it much more pure and sustainable. And we also use an amazing technology to cold press our capsules. This is a big deal. If you're currently taking a fish oil or an omega and it's fully encapsulated, they have to heat up the capsule in order to get it encapsulated like that, and that damages the quality of the oil. And why would we want to take a supplement that it's of low quality damaged oil? So it took us years, but we got the technology to cold press our vegetarian capsules. I am crazy about these omegas. They really helped me with my brain health and just clear some fog, give me some more clarity, and help reduce some anxiety. I will not go a day without them. I absolutely love them. So Dr. Richard DuBois is out of Atlanta, Georgia. He was head of infectious disease, and he was one of the first of thousands of healthcare professionals that have come along alongside our company to recommend our product to their patients. And he said there is nothing else, or there's nothing available anywhere else in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus does. And so that is why we are so excited to share this amazing product with you tonight. So at this point, I'm going to bring my friend Steve on to share his story about why he decided that Juice Plus made sense for him. Steve, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, I'll try to make this as short and sweet as I can. First, I would like to say that one benefit of Juice Plus that people kind of forget about once you're on it for a while, like me, I've been on for about 2 years now, is I woke up last night and I was a little bit congested. I was like, I have a cold. I don't feel so good. I forget that usually with Juice Plus, I'm never sick. So that's kind of like an added bonus that you forget about because you're getting those plants and fruits and everything and all that good nutrients, and you kind of forget that, oh yeah, I could get sick, but you usually don't, or typically I don't. What else? Okay, so my story, my other thing I want to mention is as a man, and typically so far in the Juice Plus world, I've typically have noticed that there's predominantly more females. There are males out there, but definitely the group that I've seen is more females. And for any males listening, please listen to my advice. And for females, I'm going to give you some advice when you go home and talk to brother, husband, dad, whoever it is, because we're all the same. We are stubborn, idiotic males. You're going to come home and be really excited about this product, that it's healthy. You're going to get your family healthy, back on track, and your husband or brother, whatever man is in your life, is going to be like, that's stupid. I'll just do more push-ups and I'll eat some more vegetables and I'll be fine. And that's what I was thinking when Kelly brought this home, and I'm like, thanks for wasting some money. But then she started getting a lot of health benefits. She was feeling better. Losing weight, although it's not, like meant as a weight loss thing, you're just eating better. So she was just healthier and happier. And I'm just like, okay, tell me more about this. And then she started to talk about the product, and she mentioned the other thing that really caught me as a man, and I'm math, I want the science. Is she showed me all the research, and no other product has this kind of research. Most places have like one study done. Juice Plus has over 38 ongoing studies that are published by big names. So yeah, it's so I started going on it, and I felt healthier. I felt more energized. Lost some weight. For me, a big thing is I have bad cholesterol, both genetically and just from bad eating over the years. So this helped with that. It reduced my cholesterol, got me back to a little more normal, because I don't want to be on medication like my parents are both on medication for high cholesterol. So it's been just huge health benefits. What I like about this product is also I can have a bad day and yet still get my fruits and vegetables, because there's no way, because I know what the guys are going to say. They're like, I'll just eat more fruits and vegetables. You just can't, like on a good day, I have like maybe two or three, like if I have a really big salad, like it just doesn't happen, guys. You say it's going to happen, but it just doesn't. Um, if you're your average typical male, okay? So, there's some great males out there who are females who get all those veggies every day. That's great. But if you're average guy like me, you just don't. Or if you do, it's the same one. I go back and I eat carrots and I eat peas and I eat broccoli. Okay, that's 3 vegetables. Okay, there's no way I can get the amount of nutrients and the variety. Eat the rainbow like the Juice Plus can give you. So you just get such a good variety. So go home, talk to the men in your lives about this product, and show them the research. They can talk to the reps that who you're in contact with. They can share direct links for like whether it's heart disease or asthma or allergies or irritable bowel. They can show you some videos where Juice Plus has helped with those the symptoms of those diseases. So it's a great product, and you get your stubborn men to listen. Right.
Thank you so much, Steve. I guess I was lucky. Eric looked at me like I was crazy when I came home with it, but he did take it, which I've learned is kind of unique. So thank you so much for sharing from your male perspective. I totally appreciate you. And it's been fun to see your health journey over the past few years. So Sarah, at this point, if you don't mind unmuting yourself and sharing your story, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. I had my video turned off because it was kind of a crazy event. We were at eating out, and then all the kids were wild and crazy, so I had my video turned off, so you didn't have to watch any of that. I started only a few months ago, in end of February. I had heard about Juice Plus a few years back from my mother-in-law and didn't really do anything about it, which now I'm kind of kicking myself for. But then my coworker, who is an RN, as am I, told me about it again, and it triggered my memory of my mother-in-law telling me about it. I was like, okay, what is it? So I hopped on the bandwagon pretty quick and started myself on it, only so that I could get my son to have it for free because he's over 4 and he would qualify for the Children's Health Study. And when they arrived, he loved them, and I was taking mine, but then I decided to just go ahead and put my daughter on them and have to I just had to order a little extra because she would eat them all. And they loved them. And then I started my daughter on them while she was mid 4th pneumonia event for the winter. She has reactive airway disease. She has horrible lungs. Everything sets her back. At least once a month, she would be on oral steroids, and she was on a constant maintenance inhaler that had been doubled, and she took it twice a day then. And then she was always on albuterol and Atrovent and prednisone and antibiotics. Tried everything, cut out dairy, probiotics, had tubes put in her ears because we thought it was that, had adenoids removed, didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. After she cleared up with that pneumonia, about a month and a half later, I noticed we hadn't done any rescue inhalers. And then I looked back, we hadn't done any oral steroids since then. Fast forward, it's now been 4 months since we started her on it, and she is off every single medication. The only thing she takes every night is her Juice Plus and brushes her teeth and goes to bed, and then nurses. So she's getting Juice Plus through me and through her gummies, which she would eat the whole bag if she could, which wouldn't bother me either because she'd probably just poop. So her pulmonologist was so impressed, she decided to take her off her maintenance inhaler, and she's been fine. She's had a couple of runny noses, but we haven't even broken out the rescue inhalers or anything. Both my kids poop normally, which if you're a parent, getting your kids to poop on a regular basis is not the easiest thing in the world when sometimes all they eat is fries and chicken nuggets. When you're on the run and you can't get anything else, you just do it. But actually, since the last time I talked, my son has asked us to go vegetarian. I've listened to him. My husband and my daughter have not, but we eat a ton more vegetables now that we've embraced this healthier lifestyle. And it's really easy now just to say, okay, that's fine. We'll just eat more fruits and veggies. And he will eat anything now. So I've had a lot more increase in energy. My son's eczema has gone away. And my husband decided, okay, I'll take some of this. So he's taking the omegas. I have yet to convince him to take the trio, which I'm going to have him listen to this after because he's kind of being a goof right now. But he has told me that he's a software engineer, so he stares at a computer screen all day. He goes midway through, and he's been on the omegas for a month, almost 2 months now. He goes, I don't have to get up and go get coffee or Dr. Pepper or anything else that's terrible for you anyway, and walk around the campus to get blood flowing back to my brain and get the fog lifted. He says, I just don't get into a fog anymore. So I think he's starting to realize that this actually is an amazing product or products, and everyone needs to be on them.
That's awesome, Sarah. He's had an experience like I did. I can totally feel that mental clarity from the omegas. And your daughter's story, it shocks me every time I hear it, even though I've heard it multiple times. It's simply amazing. I'm so glad your friend got out of her comfort zone and shared with you, because that is amazing. So we're going to wrap this up with my friend Julie, if you don't mind sharing your story real quick, and then we can all say goodnight.
Yes, well, I have a similar story to Sarah in that my son has been almost 14 months next week with no asthma. He was in the pediatric intensive care unit for, he went to the ER 4 times, 3 times, ended up checked in, and just severe asthma. And the doctor was telling us we'd have to do a daily steroid. I have a passion for nutrition that goes back to the time I was pregnant with my first son 16 years ago, when I figured out it really does matter what we put in our bodies. And I have researched like crazy. I probably read over 100 books, and that might be underestimating how many books I've read on nutrition over the last 16 years. So when my neighbor Julie, who's hosting this call, told me about Juice Plus, I kind of turned my nose up at it, because I thought if it really was something, I would know about it. And it's probably just one more thing, one more supplement. I really wasn't understanding the concept. And I cannot believe that Juice Plus has been around 25 years, and it truly was ahead of its time. But it's coming into its own now, because everybody is saying what Juice Plus has been saying for 25 years, which is vegetables and fruits and berries make a difference. And I don't know about you, but my mom is actually on this call tonight. My mom, when she was my age, 44, I don't believe she knew one person who was sick with the type of disease that is debilitating all kinds of women in my age group right now. I watched a woman younger than me be diagnosed this past week with breast cancer. I have friends left and right with autoimmune, early onset Alzheimer's. It's nuts. So to me, there's something going on, and we need to be proactive, not reactive. I see a lot of people just managing symptoms, which is easy. This is easier, and it actually is doing something preventative for you. So with my son, we started giving him fruit and vegetables rather than going the symptom management route, which is what our asthma doctor wanted to do, to put him on a daily steroid. And I just knew in my heart that, and not just in my heart, I knew from research, that was just a crutch. That would do nothing to change anything, would manage a symptom, but not strengthen his body. So instead, we decided to try the Juice Plus, because I think Sarah mentioned you can get it for free for your children. So some wonderful woman named Judy, who I've not met, sponsored him. And we said okay to that. And 14 months later, we manage, anytime tightness comes, we manage that with rubbing some eucalyptus oil on his chest. So we went from PICU to essential oils, and we have all just joined in. And there are more stories than that, but respectful of your time, I will keep it to that one.
She has 8 kids, so it's hard for her to tell all of her stories.
It's hard for me to pick one. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Well, oh my goodness, I could just listen to this stuff all night. Thank you so much, Julie. You're the most amazing person to end on, because you're right. We are dealing and we are fighting diseases today that our grandparents didn't even know about, and we have to make some changes. So at this point, we would invite you to do 3 things, one of 3 things. Number 1, if this makes sense, or if you were all excited and you want to go to the store and buy more fruits and vegetables and try to get as many into your diet as you can, please do. We would love for you to get healthier. Number 2, if Juice Plus makes sense to you or you're curious to learn more, we'd love to educate you about that. It's only around $2 to $3 a day, and kids can get it for free. So ask the person who invited you about that. And then lastly, if you listen to this and you thought of somebody in your life who you really hoped would have heard this, please tell the person who invited you. We really are on a mission to inspire healthier living around the world, and we're trying to get this message out there to as many people as we can. So please let your friend know if that was you. And thank you all so much for hopping on and sharing your stories tonight. It was so good to see you guys. Sean, I love seeing you. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't wait to see you in person in a few months. So, alrighty, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for being on.
Oh, here I can unmute everybody.